Thank you very much, Terry. Councillors, distinguished speakers, friends and colleagues, good morning and welcome to this most historic of locations for what I hope will be an informative and fruitful day of presentations and discussions relating to Ireland's World Heritage tentative list and how together we might progress towards the inscription of further sites from Ireland on the UNESCO World Heritage list. I would like to extend a particular welcome to our friends and colleagues from Northern Ireland. It is my sincere hope that we can, in the future, add a serial World Heritage site encompassing our two jurisdictions to the list of joint projects successfully achieved through the model of North-South cooperation in recent years. Certainly on this island we have a shared heritage and shared culture. I think this is one way where we can really work together. One of the fundamental concepts underlying the international legislation covering the protection of cultural heritage is the notion of collective responsibility. That world heritage is something which everyone shares and that nations have a responsibility for the protection of their heritage, not just to their own citizens, but also to the citizens of the world. The modern trigger for this belief may be traced to the decision in the late 1950s to build the Aswan Dam in Egypt, which would have had the consequence of flooding the monuments of Nubia located in both Egypt and the Sudan, in particular the Abu Simbel and the Philae temples. The ensuing international effort to save and relocate the Nubian monuments garnered support for the notion of the shared responsibility for the protection of our world heritage, and the momentum generated by the campaign was harnessed to begin preparation of a draft convention for the protection of cultural heritage. This would become the UNESCO Convention concerning the Protection for World Cultural and Natural Heritage 1972, which allowed for the setting up of a new international system of collective protection and assistance for cultural and natural heritage of outstanding universal value. It is my long-held view that a significant portion of Ireland's archaeological, historical and natural heritage possesses the potential to meet the outstanding universal value criteria established by the Convention. We've inherited a wonderfully complete, diverse and fascinating record of human habitation set against the backdrop of an unspoiled natural landscape of unrivaled beauty and biodiversity. This legacy is perfectly illustrated by the current 3 World Heritage Sites in the island of Ireland: the Giant's Causeway in County Antrim, Brú na Bóna in County Meath, and Scalig Víchil off the coast of County Kerry, which showcase history, folklore, culture and nature in settings of stunning natural beauty. However, I believe that we can and should do more to highlight our heritage assets, and in my view, there is no better way of achieving this goal than the inscription of further sites on the World Heritage list. Ireland's tentative list, submitted to UNESCO in 2010, contains an inventory of 7 potential nominees, chosen following a full expert review and public consultation process. And you know the 7 are, I'll just repeat them again: the Burren, the Céad Fies and Northwest Mayo Boglands, the monastic city of Clonmacnoise and its cultural landscape, the historic city of Dublin, early medieval monastic sites of Durrow, Clonmacnoise, Glendalough, Inniscaltra, Kells and Monasterboice, the royal sites of Ireland, Cashel, Dún Alana, the Hill of Ishnock, the Rathcrone complex, the Tara complex and hopefully Navan Fort in County Armagh, the Western Stone Forts, 7 of which are on the Aran Islands, Cahir Comown, the Burren, Cahir Conree, Steig, Bennock and the Dingle Peninsula. And like our existing world sites, I believe that these sites embody the authenticity and integrity that makes Irish heritage unique, and it is by virtue of this that they manage to transcend national boundaries and achieve universal value. I think we can all agree that any one of these potential nominees would be a worthy addition to the World Heritage list. Highlighting our heritage assets is not just a matter of national and local pride. Significant economic benefit can be realised in promoting our heritage to a worldwide audience. The promotion of heritage and cultural tourism has the potential to tap into a sector of the market which is outperforming the world tourism market as a whole. The latest statistics available from Fault Island show that in 2011, an estimated 3.4 million overseas visitors engaged in cultural and heritage activities while in Ireland, spending an estimated €2.7 billion during their stay. Such activity, according to a report recently submitted to the Heritage Council, contributes to 25,000 full-time equivalent jobs directly supported by Ireland's historic environment. I believe that such figures, while remarkable, are not yet the culmination of the potential of our heritage sector in terms of tourism and job creation. Achieving that potential will be challenging, particularly considering the budgetary and other resources constraints affecting us all in day-to-day roles. However, I sincerely believe that a successful campaign to progress one or more of the tentative list sites to full World Heritage status could only be beneficial to enhancing Ireland's already reputation as a heritage tourism destination. Just to say that I've been to, I suppose, Greece and Italy especially, and you can all see how they use their World Heritage sites to promote tourism. And they have a number of designations, but certainly they make you very much aware of the fact that they have World Heritage sites as part of their national brand. See no reason why we can not be doing the same. Achieving a World Heritage status is not easy, of course. It is a process which must be grounded in local communities, enjoy the support of those who live and work in the area, and can be driven by local authorities and local representatives. While such a consensus-led approach can sometimes be difficult and is invariably time-consuming, nominations developed in this way stand the best chance of eventual success. The power of this concept of locally driven preparation for nominations was brought home to me at the Joint Heritage Council Nicomas Island Conference last year on initiatives to engage communities in interpreting and presenting heritage. Furthermore, the concept is supported by recent research which indicates that when all stakeholders work together to support World Heritage status, it helps create a coherent and authentic identity for their site, which better communicates why the site is unique and universally important. It is those who know the site best who can communicate its value. This message of uniqueness and importance is underpinned not just by the historical value or natural beauty of a site, but also by the connection that those who live and work in the area have with the site and how they celebrate and present that connection to the outside world. I appreciate that there are fears about inclusion of a site in a World Heritage area. Past efforts to progress nominations have been resisted due to fears about the restrictions which may come with the designation. Managing pressure on sites is challenging, and I'm sure we will hear from our speaker from Meath County Council, for example, how they have dealt with that matter in Brúnaborna. The question for local communities is to see if the benefits of gaining this prestigious award are offset by any additional burdens which arise. These questions must be teased out locally and in a transparent way. It is with this imperative for locally driven nominations in mind that I've asked you all to be present here today. Here with us are representatives of all the local authorities in which sites on the tentative list are located, members of the local communities in these areas, and other interested local groups. Today must be seen as a starting point only. My department will provide assistance and guidance, but the desire to pursue nomination must be driven locally. To help us understand the issues, we will hear this morning from experts from home and abroad who will explain the process of nominating a site to the full World Heritage List, as well as delivering first-hand experience of managing the responsibilities of possessing a World Heritage site. And I know there are people here as well who want to be put on that tentative list, and certainly my department will provide the services and the advice to those people. There are some really active, I'm aware of one in particular, proposal that I think that certainly with a huge international acceptance and resonance as well. Then, of course, there's the intangible heritage, which we are not referring to here today, but I'm sure it can come up in discussion. But I think that's very important as well. I think, for example, hurling, when you look at the intangible list of UNESCO designations and you see sports in other countries like wrestling and various thrown sports and whatever, listed as intangible UNESCO, I suppose, designations with recognition. Then if you look at something like hurling here in this country, which is quite unique, if you look at the alien pipes and the harp, for example, you see no reason why they shouldn't share that designation as well. That's another issue, obviously, that may be referred to here today, but I think it's creating a lot of interest at this moment of time. When you see something like the spectacular displays on hurling all over this summer and how it has attracted such an international audience, then I think that that recognition, would be very important for the game of hurling, our national game. So this afternoon you'll have the opportunity to discuss the nomination process between yourselves. Those whose site is part of a potential serial nomination will meet the other parties involved and seek to establish an agreed and workable way to consider the nomination process, while those representing a single site can meet together to start planning how to begin gathering evidence to support your nomination if that is what you want to achieve. I myself think that we are presented today with a wonderful opportunity to begin a process which could eventually have lasting benefits for our communities, counties and the country as a whole. It is a chance to bring something which we all know to be rare and precious to deserve worldwide attention, and it falls to us collectively to help realise the goal of achieving World Heritage status for our unique sites and monuments. I believe that with cooperation and commitment we can confidently look forward to future Irish additions to the World Heritage list. I wish to emphasise my own personal commitment to supporting the progressing of nominations of Irish sites to the World Heritage list and to the management and conservation of these sites into the future. In that regard, on the legislative front, my department is preparing provisions in the forthcoming Monuments Bill which will allow for the designation of nationally important heritage areas for the purpose of protecting designated World Heritage sites, both historic and natural. There is currently no appropriate implementing legislation for World Heritage designations, and these provisions would assist greatly in providing a legal basis for the protection of such areas as a whole. Many of you may have been involved in that process. Hopefully now we are coming to the end of the drafting stage, and I would hope to have a bill certainly at the beginning of next year, but it's being worked on with a draftsperson at this moment of time. So I think that's going to be a very important piece of legislation for the protection of our monuments in this country. So to conclude, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to our speakers and contributors today for providing us with the benefit of their time, expertise and experience. In addition, I wish to thank the President, Executive Committee and members of ICAMUS Ireland who have lent their kind assistance and advice to my department in preparing for this seminar and who will carry out a key role in facilitating our breakout groups this afternoon. And many thanks to you all for coming, and I hope that you will find the day informative and productive. I hope to meet as many of you as possible today and discuss the issues involved to the fullest extent possible. I assure you that my department will provide as much advice and guidance as possible, both today and in the months to come, as you embark on this process. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know you have a big schedule, and it will involve a lot of attention, no doubt, but I think it will be very worthwhile in the end. So thank you very much.